Is Gwendolyn from Summer Solstice Forecast for Alberta. So on this chart in front of me here, you can see that the date is June 21st. The summer solstice is exact at 8:57 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. This is set for Edmonton. The black represents the transits. Okay, so here we have the sun at 29 degrees in Gemini, which is the 10th house for us folks. So it is also represented by the Ten of Swords, which means there may be painful yet inevitable endings. And you may be dealing with these already. These could be jobs, broken contracts, broken relationships. The thing is, folks, is that you end up with a poor me kind of attitude, and sometimes what happens is, especially with Mercury sitting right there and Pluto, is that you need a kick in the ass to move on. The situation wasn't meant to be, it wasn't in your best interest, and that's why it ends. And if you can understand that, there's celebration in that, because it allows you and propels you, if you can learn from your lessons and move on and go forward. And you can expect things to get better now. You can expect things to get better now, Albertans. We have, it's also on the cusp of 1 degree of Cancer right here, which is the Two of Cups, and it really talks about the self-love. And I mean, you get the kick in the pants, and you have to give yourself self-love. We have Mercury here at 18 degrees, also in the 10th house, and is conjunct our natal Pluto. So Mercury and Pluto, they're sitting like right on top of each other here. Brings up pessimism, the poor me attitude. I mean, there's a lot of pessimism right now in Alberta. And rightfully so. With inflation, the cost of living, the cost of gas, things with our Liberal government, things with our provincial government. I've seen so many articles recently in the news about how many of us will never be able to afford a home. That was one of the wonderful things about coming to Canada and living in Alberta, is that people would be able to afford these things. But Mercury also has this beautiful sextile right here with Venus. With Venus and Mars. Mars, Venus, and the moon. Okay, so we got moon, Venus, and Mars all in this nice little sextile with Mercury. All right, so the Sabian symbol for this degree where Mercury is a large archaic volume on display in a museum's archives, a reserve of collective knowledge and wisdom beyond true individual self-expression, deference to past experiences. So we have a large collective of wisdom and knowledge out there. When we look at the sextile to Venus, where there's a Mardi Gras, carnival, crowds. So, I mean, June 21st is Indigenous Day, and it is the summer solstice. So there's lots of, celebrations, carnival crowds, and such, like new, spectacular dramatic release of subconscious energies, self-exaltation for social approval, self-indulgence and license. So just be safe out there. Don't drink and drug and drive. All right, just be safe. and keep others safe as well, Albertans. All right, now this nice sextile here with Mars, the Sabian symbol, a barge made into a clubhouse, is crowded. It's the transforming powers of pure joy over routine existence, human fellowship in the effort to make life happier and freer. And really, this sextile here, especially with the moon, just boosts that energy right here. It's also the Two of Cups. So when you have all of that together, it's bold, it's courageous. It's in the house of Leo. It's also in Alberta's first house. So it's positive and a successful time, especially applying work life. The moon building relationships, seeking supports, because the sun in the ninth house may mean there's more foreigners arriving. I think we'll see that in the next few months. And also there's still people displaced, Indigenous people and other people in Alberta displaced by fires. And as true Albertans, we always come together and to support our people. And this is a real opportunity, Albertans, to create things and communities where everyone thrives. So if you have a business idea of what helps everyone, then this is, a spectacular timing. Okay, so that is that little sextile there. And we'll move on to now. I want to talk about this Saturn. I've been talking about this for a while, our Saturn return, which just is huge, significant changes. So we've got Saturn transiting here. This is, and it's a Girl Scout in camp blows her bugle triumphantly. It's a fullness of life as manifest in service to the whole. Spiritual socialization, call to participation in the race work. Again, Albertans helping Albertans. All right. Conjunct, within 10 degrees here, our natal Saturn, which is the metamorphosis is completed. The butterfly has spread its wings, immortality of the real self, graduation into a new realm of being. I really believe Albertans are becoming more, as all people in the universe, becoming more and more aware. The energy right now is just upgrading and upgrading and upgrading our spiritual wellness, especially when it's conjunct the true node here when we came into the world, and also Sirius, who loves to help out. Now these are all in the natal chart, but this is where Saturn, transiting Saturn, is sitting. With all three of these, it is really a change in the destiny for Alberta starting this June 21st. By the people, for the people. Reminding you that our governments are elected by us. And if we're so unhappy with the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, well, this is a perfect time to step up and change that in positive, healthy, and meaningful ways. All right, like really, how do we come together to create communities where everyone wins? And something I read the other day was, it doesn't take much to buy a large piece of land and put some small houses on it. I saw a house the other day for sale for $40,000. It just needed a place to go. Well, that is very affordable. And just like those, towns back in the day, they'd have gardens, they'd be self-sufficient, and everybody would work together in the town to create prosperity for everyone. I think we just need to go back to that a little more and be more community driven versus independently driven. You know, really following your dreams. Dream big, Albertans, and then go for it. This is the time. This equinox marks a massive transition from kind of maybe the past 20 years, right? And maybe going back a little bit into the old ways of community, right? Because Venus is now in her shadow period of retrograde, and she goes completely retrograde July 22nd, which just transforms relationships, communication. Just know that relationships now for the 40 days and 40 nights, they can be tense. They can definitely be tense, and this is where you have to step up in communication, being patient, being calm, being understanding, and be of love. Venus is all about love. So how can you love and nurture your relationships? And if you really focus on love and nurturing, you can get through this next 40 days, 40 nights of time in Venus retrograde, which teaches us through this period of difficulty and challenges in our relationships, how to love stronger and how to love ourselves. For people like me who are codependent or recovering codependents, this would be a sign to really be aware. It's a good time where those old patterns and characteristics of behaviors will sneak up on you, and then we backslide, we slip, right? So slipping into addictions is very possible during this Venus retrograde, so just be aware of that. Nodes will switch into Aries and Libra on July 17th. So this guy will go over here, and this guy will go over here. All right. So it's a fairly big switch. I believe they're both entering into fire signs. Just wish you the best. Please subscribe. It does help me so I can do lives.